Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house, and today I'm in the house with the SPD Strider SMF Mudhorn here with me for a review. We're gonna analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this bad boy, but hey, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this kind of content. I also have to say a big thank you to my buddy for sending this guy over. He wants to remain anonymous. He's a great person, so you know who you are. Thank you for sending this along, so I'm able to share my thoughts about this one. So what is this? This is a Strider. It's a big boy. Let's just quickly check. Overall length of this guy is going to be 9 inches with a 3.1, maybe 3.2 to be generous, cutting edge, and an overall length for the handle of 5.3, yeah, inches, ounces. So it's not a small boy. Let's just quickly check how this guy is comparing up against, for example, Ontario Rat number 1. Look at that, smaller. Ontario Rat number 2, smaller. Benchmade, maybe you like Benchmade, maybe you have a bug out. That's a pretty popular knife. You can actually see, look at that. Yeah, just a little bit less cutting edge, but you see what's going on there. Also, you might have a mini bug out, and there you have it. That's your mini bug out. Or maybe you happen to be like a Spyderco fan, and you got Paramilitary 2 kicking around, and that's going to be your boy. Or maybe you prefer smaller knives, and boom, that's your Para 3. Or maybe you are into Sebenza knives. And that's the Chris Reeve knives, large Sebenza. This is a Sebenza P, but it doesn't matter. That's the same size of the Sebenza large. And this is the Sebenza, the small Sebenza 21. That's the P also. So nice pair over here. And also, like, let me just show you another one. That's a pretty gorgeous one. This is the Peter Rasente design, Custom Knife Factory, Snafu 2.0. And it's still, I would say, a little bit... Probably, guys, we are like in the same overall length, but you've got a little bit more. You can pack more cutting edge in this guy than in this one. Handle to blade ratio, yeah. 520, Philippe Georget designed. Also, like, very, very cool one. This is, of course, Koenig Knives Arius. And what else can I show you? Yeah, another one, which can actually relate to this guy in terms of edge to overall length ratio. That's the XM18 3.5 inch long. And let me show you just another couple options. Here we've got Shirogorov F95. That's the Tai 2 edition, Hawaiian etched. And this is another beautiful Shiro. This is Custom Division Neon NL. And what else can I show you? I think we're pretty much done. Yeah, you've got the idea. This is not a small knife whatsoever. This is the Strider SPD SMF Mudhorn. So SPD stands for Special Project Division, and this is the Mudhorn. As you can see, look at that. That's the Mudhorn sigil, which is deeply engraved into the handle. Look at that. That's very cool. That's a very cool touch. Titanium frame lock. You see, it has this kind of design that it kind of looks like an integral, but of course it's not. You can see like screws here, yeah, it's the Strider. So titanium frame lock. You see over here, but this side, you know, this is called the Beskar finish, which is applied both to the blade and to the lock side over here, and of course the clip as well. Here you've got your Kraken with the trident right over here. So nice, nice touch right over there, and of course that's a beautiful bead. Rocking around the lanyard right over there. So the price of this guy is not going to be cheap. This is a special edition. I've seen them going for like 1,400 bucks, so it's not gonna be cheap. The overall look when closed, it's the Strider. It's a classic design. Either you hate it or you love it. There's no like meh, I'm indifferent. It's a pretty unique design, I have to say. Also, this guy's made in USA, and it's a big boy. I mean, it's a honky chunk of metal to have you kicking around. So the overall look when closed, it's not too bad. I mean, it's you can actually see that, like, you see that the blade is like that. So there's a little bit of that would be the profile inside the handle. So there's a little bit of real estate here that is kind of like wasted, in my opinion, to create this look. So it's, yeah, that's probably my main gripe that I have with this guy. But let's talk about that in a bit. You've got chamfering going on all the way around, quite pronounced jimping. It's not too aggressive here. You have it a little bit in the heel of the handle, which makes sense. You want to have something, see, like that to grip, to create some grippiness right there. And of course, you've got some extended jimping and with quite wide grooves on the blade. This is not a flipper, so this guy is just running on washers. And you have like your little thumb stud kind of thing, which are going to act as a stop pin right there. So you can actually, if you're like good enough like that, you can use this as a thumb stud, but you may want to use this hole over here to deploy the knife mainly. But yeah, it's up to you. There's the construction is interesting. I appreciate this one. I think like the I reviewed the Logan by Mercury Knives, I think, and it has a similar construction, kind of like resembling a kind of like an integral, but it's not. Of course, these are two slabs, but I like this idea over here. It's a nice and ingenious design. It creates like a full-length back spacer basically over here, so there's no standoffs. You've got a lanyard hole, which is interestingly, you see like how you have to do it. So you have to go through one side, and then you're gonna have this guy just fraying because it's gonna be touching the tip of the blade right there. So you can't really use like the two holes. So you're gonna either use one or the other, because you see the blade is in the path. So that's, yeah, that's that. Blade is centered, the tip is safely recessed, so nothing wrong with that. And it's yeah, it's interesting. Like you've got some pretty, this is, I think it's the T10 Torx bit screws needed to take this guy down. You've got 4 screws for the handle, 1 pivot screw right over here, and it's the screws are flat, so disassembly is going to be pretty straightforward. There's not going to be a disassembly video because this is not mine, it's a loaner, so I'm not going to do any disassembly on this guy, but I'm assuming it's pretty straightforward. Just, you know, take this guy apart and you're pretty much done. Clean it up, put it back together, deal. What is like not 100% cool, I think, is that these screws are just directly screwed into the metal here. So yeah, just be careful not to strip anything, otherwise you're gonna be in trouble, I think. So you don't have any stainless steel lock face insert, and so that might create a little bit of lock stick. Like you deploy the blade, and you're gonna have a little bit of lock stick. So if you don't carbonize properly the lock face, that might happen. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's not that crazy. You don't have to push it like too much, but you can feel it a little bit. This is also like new, so probably with time would wear off, sorry, and yeah, you're gonna have like a zero lock stick situation, but right now there's just a tiny bit. There is no integrated over travel stop bar here, because you have like an Hinderer style over travel stop bar right over here with this disc, really cool, which is gonna it's not gonna allow you to overextend the lock bar, so that's pretty good to go. You've got over here, you're able to see that the detent ball is just hitting the tank, so there's no detent ball ramp going on. You've got a tip-up carry only pocket clip, which is gonna show like this much knife sticking out of your pocket, so it's not reversible, it's just tip-up carry only, and it's gonna be, yeah, I mean, that's, I'm not a fan of like simply designed like pocket clips. Like for example, where is it? Like the Sebenza, yeah, I prefer like to put something like that. It's looking better. It's a little bit less functional than the original one, which is this guy over here, which is just a slab, a bent slab, two-dimensional. So I'm not a fan of those, but yeah, at least in this case, there's some graphic going on. Of course, this Kraken here with the trident, it's pretty cool. So, but yeah, it's gonna stick out that much of the knife out of the pocket. The clip retention is all right. You've got an external cutout here for the lock bar, so it's right over there. It might your fabric might get snagged a little bit, but I think that entrance ramp is pretty good to go, so no problems with that. What I have a little bit of a problem with is the handle to blade ratio. I mean, especially the cutting edge to overall length ratio. This is like 3.1 inches, guys, like 3.2 maximum, and the overall length is huge. It's 9 inches, so it's something to consider. Like, for example, you take this Shiro over here. It has pretty much the same 3.2. But look at that. So same cutting edge capabilities, but yeah, it's not comparable. I mean, when you use the finger groove like that, there's like it's like this. I mean, there's a lot of handles sticking out. But yeah, beside that, I mean, there's a lot of real estate. There's no internal skeletonization going on, so that's going to reflect in the weight. But that's probably my main gripe about this one, and the lack of stainless steel lock face insert and the lanyard hole like that. I'm not a lanyard guy, so it's gonna be fine. And also maybe like the screws going in. So there's a little bit of things that I'm really not a fan of, but I like the blade shape, for example. I like the jimping, nice hole over here. It's a pretty thick stock. Let me check how thick this guy is. 0.189 inches with let's see, right over here, 0.0245 inches. So yeah, I mean, flat grind. It's a good slicer. It's a beast of a knife. It's overbuilt. You've got some aggressive jimping going on, swedge in this drop point blade, maybe 20% belly, and straight edge up to the strangely designed sharpening choil, and you have a finger choil. So you see, sharpening choil and finger choil, two in at once. The plunge grind is hitting the middle of this like seagull kind of profile, and you've got a mixed rider logo over here, the logo over here, CTS XHP, USA made, of course, and you see this Beskar finish. You can actually see the pixels. Like if you zoom in like that, you can see the pixel. Then the same finish is gonna be replicated on the back of the knife and on the pocket clip right over there. So billboarding is it's not too bad, because this is like etched in the steel. So I like that. It's not like a stamp or like a laser etch. So that's actually kind of like engraved a little bit, so you can feel it. So I appreciate that. You also have this micro thumb stud over here, which is acting as a stop pin. You have a flat grind going on, a little bit of chamfering going on here. So it's yeah, it's gonna feel pretty good in the hand. We're gonna check that in a second. But the sound, that's very good, nice and clacky and clunky when you close it. So it's beautiful. I love the sound, actually. It's really, really good. There's a little bit of lock stick, but it's not discreet. It's clacky. It's a little bit loud. You have also like a whoosh, like here going on with the washers, like rubbing against the blade. It's pleasant. I mean, it's beautiful, actually. What it's like not super cool, probably it's the weight, because there's no internal skeletonization, pretty thick stock for the blade. So this guy is going to be weighing in at 7.15 ounces with the bead. So I'm just going to lift the bead, and you're going to see that this guy is going to weigh in at 6.50, yeah, 6.5, let's say, ounces. So not the lightest knife ever, but I have to say that if you choke it up like that, it feels absolutely great in the hand. Really, really good ergonomics. it's like an oversized knife for the cutting edge that is providing. So that's all I'm saying. But I really like the ergos, like very, very good. Like choke up, feels great. You feel you have a great control and great. It feels also balanced, even if it's that heavy. You can do a reverse grip like that. Not so much like that because yeah, look at that, how much it's sticking out, and I have big hands. But this is the best affair for this knife. Like really, really cool grip. It feels absolutely solid in the hand. There's zero flex. It's well put together. It's a simple knife, but still, there's no rattling. Like it feels absolutely solid. This is an overbuilt knife. There is no blade play when you try to do this. It's not gonna go anywhere up and down. You have some milled out area here to access the lock bar and be able to disengage it. So that's pretty good to go. You have the right amount of clip stiffness, so that's also pretty good. Nice clip ramp over here, so that's fine. This guy is running on washers, phosphorus bronze. Maybe you can appreciate them from this point. Deployment speed, I mean, it's yeah, you can just do like a thumb flick like that. You can do spidey flick like this, pretty easy, taking advantage of this hole. You can also use this as a thumb stud, but it's so easy to use this one. You can also use two hands like that. So the action, like when you disengage the lock bar, you see this guy just wants to close down, and there's no blade play. When you put it in the vertical position, you just need to give it a wiggle to close it, so there's not going to be any guillotine effect. You have just to wiggle it. So not a biggie. Then you've got a very, very little detent suction, pretty like just a little bit, so not so much magnetic effect. But I mean, overall, this is an overbuilt knife. It's a classic. It's quite famous. This is a nice special edition. Especially, I love the deep engraved sigil for the Mudhorn right over here. That's a beautiful thing, as Nick Shabazz would say. And I like the jimping going on. I really don't like the handle to blade ratio for sure. And the weight, probably it's not the best. There's a couple issues. Just add like some stainless steel lock face insert. I really appreciate the profile of the blade. And I think this is an interesting knife, but it's not perfect. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned.